In this video, I'm going to show you how to fix the most common Facebook pixel errors that you may experience. Now, I've actually included in the description below different timestamps along with each error. So if you're experiencing a particular error and you just want to skip straight to that, have a look in the description. There are all the markers there. You can just click it and go to that part of the video. But the first thing I will say is at least do step number 1. That will help you pretty much eliminate a bunch of errors straight up. So the first thing I want you to do, let's call this step 1, is go ahead and disable any ad blockers that you may have in your browser. Personally, I don't use ad blockers, but I know a lot of people do. And if you have an ad blocker, that will cause errors with the Pixel. So disable any ad blockers. And the second thing is, if you haven't done it already, download the Facebook Pixel Helper Chrome extension. So there's a specific Chrome extension that you can install, and that actually will give you diagnostic information on the Facebook Pixel for any website that you're visiting, okay? So again, disable ad blockers. Download the Facebook Pixel Helper if you haven't already, because that's going to give you more information on why the Pixel may or may not be working. Now, if you're new to this channel, hi, welcome. My name's Andrew Hubbard. I'm the founder of Hubbard Digital, and we're a Facebook advertising agency and education company, and we help online businesses grow using digital marketing. Now, before we jump into the first error, the only thing I ask if you're watching these videos is if you enjoy them, please hit the like button. It really does help me and it helps the channel grow. And if you want to hear more from me, make sure you click subscribe and click that little bell to get notified whenever I release a new video. Okay, so the first error we're going to cover is the no pixel found error. And basically this is telling you that the pixel has not been found at all on the website. So for some reason, the pixel code just doesn't exist. It's usually an implementation problem. It means that however you've implemented it hasn't worked properly. So first of all, I recommend using the plugin Pixel Caffeine. So it's by a company called Adespresso. So if you use that WordPress plugin to install it, that's probably the most foolproof way that I've found to do it. And that can be an easy way to do it if you just can't get the pixel to show up at all and you keep seeing the no pixel found error. But if you want to troubleshoot this, the first thing I recommend doing is go to your website, right click anywhere on the background and click View Page Source. And that's going to show you the source code for your website. Now, don't worry, all you need to do is press Command F if you're on a Mac, or Control F, I think, on a PC to search the page, and just search for the word pixel, or you can even search for Facebook Pixel. Okay, so type that in, and you should find your Facebook Pixel code. Okay, so you should be able to see your Facebook Pixel code inside that page source code. Now, if you can, that's good. If you can't see it at all, then it means the pixel isn't on the page and there's obviously something broken there in the way you've implemented. So if you can see it, that means it's on the page, but for some reason it's not being picked up by the Facebook Pixel Helper tool. Now, if that's the case, make sure it's not commented out. So if the source code is green, that means that it's commented out for some reason, and that's bad. You need to fix that, remove the comment tags, to get rid of that so that it's actually being read by Google Chrome. But if it appears, then go back into wherever you've implemented it. So if you've implemented it manually inside of WordPress, go and check that. If you're using a plugin, make sure the plugin is active. Make sure that that plugin isn't conflicting with other plugins. And like I said, if you still can't figure this out, remove the implementation that you've got, try it with Pixel Caffeine, and that will probably fix the problem for you. Okay, moving on to error number 2, and that is you have opted out of tracking. Now, this error means that you've actually, inside your Facebook profile, opted out of being tracked by Facebook. So obviously that's a problem, because when the Pixel is trying to send information back to Facebook, it's recognizing that you've actually decided that you don't want to be tracked by the Pixel. So the way to change this is to go into your Facebook settings, and then inside those settings, you can actually go to the area where you enable or disable tracking, and you can switch that to on. So as you can see now, we're just going through that process, and we can turn it on here. And once you do that, problem solved. The third error we're going to talk about is pixel activated multiple times. What this means is the same pixel and same pixel code was actually activated more than once on the page. Now, this is a problem because you don't want duplicate results. You don't want Facebook double counting traffic to your different web pages. It's going to double count conversions and all sorts of things and cause you problems. So obviously you want to fix this. Now, the most common reason I see for the Facebook pixel triggered multiple times error is usually it's when either people use a blanket plugin, like let's say Add Espresso, to add the pixel to their whole site, but then for some reason they also add the pixel code individually to different pages. And so it's already being added by Add Espresso or a specific plugin to the whole website, and then they've gone and added pixel code to individual pages. So it's loading on the site, then it's loading on that page a second time. So check for that. Also, another reason I see this happening is because people will implement their standard event tracking, so standard events being a type of conversion tracking, incorrectly. And what they'll do is they'll put the pixel code and then they'll put the same pixel code again, but with this time with the standard event added in, and that results in a double firing. So what you should be doing there is just having the pixel code and then adding just the little snippet for the standard event below that pixel code, and that's how you should properly implement your standard events. So check for both of those things. Again, the way to easily see this is going into your page source and seeing if the pixel code is duplicated twice. And then if that's the case, then you know that somewhere, somehow, it's being added a second time and you need to find that and get rid of the second implementation. All right, number 4. Pixel took too long to load. I see this one quite frequently. There's 2 reasons why it might happen. The first reason is usually because the pixel has been implemented too far down the page. So you really want to implement the pixel just before the closing head tag in your code. Most plugins will do this for you. And if you're using a plugin that allows you to inject the code, then make sure you've selected to add it in the head and not in the body or the footer. Okay, so again, make sure it's in the head, not the body or the footer if you're using a plugin that allows you to do that. If you've manually installed this or had a developer do it, make sure they've done that. Now, the easiest way to check this, again, go into your page source, hit Command F, and then search for /head. And then that will show you the closing head tag. It's the tag with /head and then closing pointy bracket. Make sure the pixel is above that. If it's not, then you know that's a problem and you can go and organize to get that fixed. Now, the other reason why this might happen, and this is probably the most common reason I see this, is your page is just slow, right? That's a problem. You don't want a slow landing page. If you're sending traffic to a particular page, that page has to be fast in order to get the best performance out of your advertising traffic. So I've actually got a video on this. I'll put a little link, should pop up now at the top of this video, to go and look at how to optimize your page. So check that one out. But yeah, that's usually the reason. If your page is slow, you need to speed it up. All right, not much more I can say about that one. So let's move on to number 5, which is we detected event code, but the pixel has not activated for this event. So Facebook was not sent any information, basically. Now, what this means is it's found your standard event code. So it's trying to track a conversion, but your base pixel hasn't activated, so it doesn't know which pixel it's associated with. So what you need to do is make sure that your Facebook pixel, the base code, is above the standard event or the conversion tracking code on the page. Okay, so you need to go in again to the page source is the easiest place to look at this. Make sure that the Facebook base pixel code, the big chunk of pixel code, is above the actual standard event code, whether it's purchase or lead or complete registration or whichever event code you're using. So make sure it's above and not below. If the base pixel is below, that's what's going to cause this error. Now, I have seen this happen as well in situations where people have got ad blockers turned on. It will cause this error sometimes. So again, make sure you've got that ad blocker turned off, because that's going to cause you a world of pain when it comes to the pixel, because it just doesn't let it work properly. Which moves us on to number 6. So that is invalid pixel ID. So what this means is the pixel ID that you've put with your pixel code on your website is not correct. So it's probably a typo, but basically it doesn't match the pixel code inside Facebook Ad Manager, or the pixel ID inside the Facebook Ad Manager. And so what you want to do, have a look at the pixel code. So if you look at the code, there's a pixel ID in there, it's a long string of numbers. Then go across into Facebook Ad Manager, go to the Events Manager. And then once you're inside the Events Manager, you need to go and find your pixel ID, which is right there under the pixel. Find that ID and make sure that it matches exactly with what is in your pixel code. Because if it's off at all, if there's a space in there that shouldn't be there, if there's a number in there that's wrong, it's going to give you this error. So simply check that and correct it if it's wrong. If you're using the Pixel Caffeine plugin, you won't get this. Like it does it automatically for you, so you won't have to worry about this. Okay, number 7 is cannot find product catalog. So this is where the catalog ID that's in your pixel code doesn't match a product catalog that is associated with this Facebook pixel. So what it's doing is it's going, okay, I've got this pixel ID and it's got this catalog ID inside of it, and I'm looking at all of the catalogs associated with this pixel and I'm not seeing a match, right? So there's a problem there. And it's likely because the product catalog ID in your pixel is incorrect, or you just haven't associated the catalog with that pixel yet. So the first thing is go into the catalog manager. So from Facebook Ads Manager, you can click on the menu and go to catalog manager. And then once you do that, you'll see your catalogs listed. Make sure that the catalog ID for the catalog that you're trying to link up matches exactly what's being sent over in the product catalog ID field in the pixel code. Okay, so make sure that's matching. Again, you can view this in the source code for the website. And you also need to make sure the product catalog is associated with your pixel. Now, the way to do that is, again, go back to the catalog manager. Once that's open, select your catalog. So click on that and then go to settings. And that's going to open up the settings for that catalog. Now, next to event sources, you can then click on connect to tracking. That's going to bring up a list of pixels that you've got access to. Select the pixel that you want this catalog associated with, okay? So make sure you've done that and then go back and check the pixel. And if you've done those two things, making sure the pixel ID and the catalog ID are correct and making sure the catalog is associated with the pixel, that should fix this error for you. All right, next up, we got the missing value parameter error. So what this means is you're using an event, a standard event, that should have a value associated with it. So for example, the purchase event, you normally send a value and a currency code to say this is the purchase, this is how much it's worth, and this is the currency that that amount is in. So if you're using a standard event where Facebook expects a conversion amount and you don't have that included, that's going to give you this error. So if you have a look at your code and it either is using a purchase or an event that normally has an amount associated with it, but it's not sending the conversion amount value, so have a look at that. If it doesn't have that in there, then that's a problem. Okay, so what you want to do is go in and include that. So if you go over to the documentation, you'll be able to see what those parameters look like, how to insert them, and there should be a screenshot up now. You can have a look and see exactly what that code should look like. So you can see there where you need to insert the dollar amount, okay? And so make sure that's in there. Make sure you have the currency code as well, because if you don't put the currency code, it's going to give you a different error. So make sure you've got that covered, and then you should be fine. One thing I will note here is the complete registration event actually expects a conversion amount, and it will give an error inside the Facebook Ad Manager. So if that happens, it's just a warning. I mean, if you're using, let's say, complete registration and people aren't paying you money when they complete a registration, then it's actually not a problem. So it will throw you a warning, but that's fine. You can just ignore that one. And the final one we're going to talk about is an error that's called not a standard event. Now, what this means is the standard event that you're sending over, so the particular conversion event and the name that you've given it, doesn't match one that is in Facebook's list of standard events, right? Or default standard events. This is usually a typo. So for example, people will type purchases as their standard event name in their code instead of purchase. So they'll put ES on the end when they shouldn't. And that just makes Facebook go, hey, this, I'm getting this standard event name, but it doesn't match any in our list. So, it's throwing an error. So what you need to do is just bring up the list of Facebook's standard event codes, and I'll put a link to that in the description as well. So go to that page, have a look at the list, have a look at the standard events that you're sending in your code and the names, and make sure that it matches correctly. It's probably just a typo there. Fix that up and you'll be able to get rid of that error. Right, so they're the most common things we see with the Facebook pixel, as I said. The majority of the time it's either a problem with an ad blocker running, or it's a problem with the actual implementation, so the plugin that you're using or the way that you've actually inserted it in your website. So the easiest way to fix this is either clear it and use something like Pixel Caffeine plugin to add the code. That's quick and easy. And then obviously removing ad blockers. But if you're getting these specific errors, then hopefully we've covered it here and that helps. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Lets me know you like it. If you got any questions, if it didn't solve your problem, drop it in the comments below because I do check those and I do reply to those as well. And of course, if you want to get notified whenever I release a new video on Facebook advertising or digital marketing, then make sure you hit subscribe, click that little bell to get notified whenever that happens. All right, thanks again for watching. I always appreciate your time, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. In this video, I'm going... Am I recording? Yes, I am. Okay, let's start again. I gotta do that again, sorry. The plugin called Pixel Caffeine. I'll just do that bit again. All right, the third error is... Whoops.